Hello, today I have a review of The Lion King Diamond Edition Blu-ray 3D Blu-ray DVD digital copy combo pack. First off, you got the packaging, pretty cool, the Diamond Edition package. And here's the back. And you open it up, and this is a pretty heavy package because it is a 4-disc set. And you open it, and you've got a little book about the special features. It really just shows you the special features, not much in there, but it's like a fold out. And then you got your 3D Blu-ray, too many, Blu-ray, DVD, and your separate digital copy. So 4-disc set, anything you could possibly want. The cast of this movie, I'm not going to mention everyone, I'm just going to, because every character has their own person, I'm just going to say the major stars. Jonathan Taylor Thomas, Matthew Broderick, Jeremy Irons, Cheech Marin, Whoopi Goldberg, and, of course now I forget, James Earl Jones, obviously. And so going to go over the basic story, the plot of this movie. I think most people out there probably know what this movie's about, and I'm not going to say everything, but I don't think I'll be giving away anything either, because you've probably already seen this. Basically, it's about Simba, who's a cub, a lion cub, and he's the next in line to be king, and he's really excited to be king eventually one day, and his uncle is jealous because he believes he should be king, and I'm not really sure why he believes he should be king. But so pretty much he sets up Simba, and there's a tragedy, and Simba thinks it's all his fault, and so he leaves, and Scar, his uncle, does become king. And so then Simba goes off on his own out of the whole area where his people live, or his other lions live, and he meets a warthog named Pumbaa, and I don't know what the heck he was. He's just like some little rodent or something called Timon, and he kind of just lives with them for a long time, worry-free and relaxing and not doing much of anything. And then one day someone comes looking for help, and everybody thinks he's dead, and they find out it's him, and they're like, oh, you gotta come back and help, and it's kind of like growing up and realizing you can't just run away from your problems. You have to deal with them. So that's at least halfway to 3/4 of the movie. So I won't say everything that happens at the end. So let's go over special features. There's some deleted scenes. I think there were around 3 or 4, and they aren't fully done. They aren't animated. They just have a couple drawings for each one, but they are the actors' voices playing them, and I don't know, they're kind of boring. I don't really care for them, but there is one where you find out why Nala goes looking for help. It's because they kind of touched on it. She just said they needed help, but there was another scene that went more into it, that Scar wanted Nala as his wife, and she said no, so he kicked her out of the group, and so she's off on her own already anyways, which in a way would have been kind of creepy, because he's like, when she's born he's already a full adult, so obviously that's weird. And then they had bloopers, which I don't really understand the bloopers, because a lot of times on those newer Disney Pixar movies you see the bloopers at the end, where some of them maybe are real and some of them are maybe made up, and that's kind of how it was. They animated them and everything, so like you were actually looking at the characters messing up. I don't know. That was okay, I guess. They weren't that good. And then there was also a deleted song. Which song was it? Oh, there was a Mufasa song where there's a Mufasa song where there's a Mufasa song where he when he was showing Simba what their kingdom covered, and the bird comes to tell him something. I can't remember what. There was this whole song there, and it was a pretty bad song, really. And they said it kind of didn't really fit with the movie, and I think it's a good thing they cut it. It was not a good song at all. And then there's also they called it an extended scene, which was another song, but I didn't totally understand this because they said it was a song they made for the Lion King Broadway musical or whatever, the play, and then they went back and animated it and then added it into the movie for the DVD. But I checked the 3D Blu-ray, the Blu-ray, and the DVD, and none of them actually have this in there. So the original DVD, they put it in there, and they cut it out on the newer ones. I don't know. I don't get it. And it wasn't really very good either, so I think it was okay, but whatever. And then there's a Lion King memoir, which basically just talked about the development of Lion King from the beginning till the end, and kind of how, like, a lot of people didn't want to work on Lion King because they didn't think it was going to be a success. And then, ended up being a huge success, and kind of just showed you the development of the characters and the story, and how they went, they did audience tests on it, and they changed things, and it was originally going to be called King of the Jungle, but they're not actually in the jungle, so they're like, well, that doesn't make sense. And that one was kind of interesting because, it's back in the early 90s when, as it's going on, they're talking, interviewing, and you can see, like, they're using old cameras, and the video quality is terrible. But then, for some reason, they had another one called Pride of the Lion King, which was basically the same thing, but done more recently, like, in the last couple of years, where they looked back and they were like, oh, this is what happened, this is what happened, but at least half of it they were talking about the same stuff, and it just got extremely boring. But then at the end they were talking about the Lion King musical, which was kind of interesting, the development of that. I'm not really into musicals or anything, but it was interesting to watch. If they had just had that part, it would have been a lot more interesting. And then they have Disney Sing Along, where it's a mode you can turn on when you're watching the Blu-ray, and it'll put the lyrics up on the screen, so if you have kids or whatever who want to sing the songs, they can just read them right off the screen. And then they have Interactive Gallery, which is just like pictures of character developments and scenes and backgrounds and everything you'd expect in an interactive gallery. And so basically those are all the special features, and if you were to watch all those, I think it took probably an hour, maybe a little more. But that's only on the Blu-ray. The DVD only has The Lion King, a memoir, so they didn't really include anything on the DVD. So now for picture quality, the 3D Blu-ray had a really good picture, and overall it was my favorite out of the three. It was the most enjoyable, and I think looked the best. The 3D though wasn't like the best I've seen, and a lot of the scenes didn't look 3D, and some of them did, and but it's a little bit different because you don't really see. This is still the older style of animation where it looks all hand drawn and not done by computer, and all the characters are all 3D already, so it's a little bit different kind of visual style to it. And there was one scene though that I had never seen anything like this. Usually when you see a 3D movie, you see the character or whatever in the screen, and then it'll come out of the screen towards you. Well, somehow they managed to make the bird start like in your living room and then fly into the screen, and it was just kind of startling. I was like, whoa. And then the regular Blu-ray, that one was amazing, super terrific in every way, I guess. And then the DVD, the DVD was actually really good. The only thing I could really notice that was different was that the DVD looked a little blurrier. It wasn't quite as crisp and clear, just because of the resolution difference between DVD and Blu-ray. So the DVD really, depending on your preference, and if you could find it cheaper, it's probably almost worth it just to buy the DVD over the Blu-ray, unless you're out for like the best picture quality. Or if you want the 3D Blu-ray, obviously, buy it on 3D. Now, scoring this movie was a little harder than most movies because, most movies you can just give it whatever score you want, nobody's going to care. But On this one, I think it's going to have to be a 5. And that's just because, first of all, that, this was a major movie, a huge success, and I don't think you could give it a score lower than that. But also, it was a really good movie, and I'm not really into the animated movies as much, but this one had a great story, and even the songs, they're not cheesy and they're not terrible. They're pretty enjoyable, and you hear that starting song, and everybody knows what it is, and so I gotta give it a 5. If you've seen the 3D version, let me know what you think, or let me know what you think of the review, and thanks for watching.